Hello, everyone. This is Gilbert Lowe, National Partner Director for Veeam Software. And we have a special guest today, a guy that has really helped me in my career, Senior Director of Vcsp Cloud Providers for Americas, Ken Christopher. Welcome, Ken. How are you doing today?
I am fantastic, Gil. Really happy to be on here, LinkedIn Live with you. And
Mhm.
we go back quite a long ways, and we've had exciting, past couple of years here at Veeam as well.
Yeah. So I'm almost on my 6th year of Veeam, but for those that don't know, Ken Christopher actually started me in the career of selling security and backup solutions way back at our Computer Associates or CA Technology days, right, Ken? You took a risk on
We
me
did.
and said, you know what, come on over, let's go on a journey. And since then, I've really learned a lot about just technology and in the channel. So why did you pick me? Why did you hire me back then?
Yeah, well, Gil is definitely one of my best hires for sure. But you were, very aggressive, go-getter, always thinking of ways of doing things, outside of the norm. And I've been happy, to work with you throughout your career. And yeah, many of us, used to work for CA Technologies, which is now part of Broadcom, to get our footing in the enterprise software space.
Mhm.
So pleasure to continue that journey along with you.
Well, we're glad to have you over here, Ken, with your vast experience in technology. And really, I mean, how are you adapting to working from home right now? I mean, you have a large team covering
Mhm.
the Americas, right? So how are you adapting in different time zones? And what's new for you right now?
Sure. Yeah. Great. Thanks, Gail. So again, I oversee. I'm one of the lucky leaders to be part of the Veeam Cloud and Service Provider team. I
Mhm.
am based in Tampa, Florida. Of course, the new home of Tom Brady. We're very excited about that. If the NFL season takes place. But I'm happy to report that our teams, as many of our teams at Veeam, have very successfully transition to a work from home environment. We are a cloud backup company and a leader in that. So we've got to be
Mhm.
able to be very agile and make that switch. So my teams have got teams in Atlanta, out in Tempe. We've got also a Latin American team, down in Buenos Aires and throughout Latin America, that
Mhm.
has, for our partners and our customers, been able to make that quick transition. And like many companies, we're having some fun with it. We're doing some virtual happy hours.
Right.
Of course, a lot of our internal calls, have switched to video, and really, it's also come as you are. We don't have
Yeah.
to get always dressed up and looking your best, because it's more about the content and getting the message across. So I'm very
Yeah.
happy about the transition that we've made, so far on my particular team.
And Veeam just announced that we had some market share gains and for Q1, even during these very unprecedented times. What's your take on that as a business within Veeam Cloud Service Providers? What's your take on how we're still growing at Veeam as a company?
Sure. Yeah. And if you check the press release that just hit the wire, a couple of days ago, Veeam continues to grow and
Mhm.
continue to grow in Q1. Um, Gil, we owe a lot of that to our incredible customers,
Yeah.
partners, and of course our service providers. Veeam is a 100%, channel company, sell through the channel. So without all of those partners and our customers, we'd never be able to do that. And some incredible numbers, that you will see in that press release. In Q1 we grew 21%
Hmm.
in ARR, or annual recurring revenue, which is what we're going to speak a little bit about today with the Veeam Cloud and Service Provider model that can help, whether you're an existing service provider or you might be a traditional value-added reseller that is looking to get more into cloud data backup.
Right. So, everyone, please comment below because we want to make this interactive. And really, Ken, since we're talking about cloud, there's different ways. There's public, private cloud. There's cloud storage. There's backup storage. But what are some of the key challenges as we manage data across multi-cloud environments?
Sure. Yeah. And really, when it comes to the challenges, there really ends up being three. The
Hmm.
criticality, the explosive growth, and of course the sprawl. And data is popping up everywhere. Whether it's, I think we both have Apple Watches,
Yeah, we
Gil.
do.
there are endpoints everywhere, whether it's Fitbits, and the growth, the amount of data that's being generated by an organization, small or large, is just absolutely incredible. And be able to manage that and secure that in an environment with a multi-cloud in place. And by that we mean private clouds, whether it could be public clouds like Azure and AWS. The sprawl that's taking place is incredible, and there really is no one better than Veeam that has been in the backup and disaster recovery space for close to 15 years to help customers and our partners do this very successfully.
So when you think about opportunity, right? So what's more or less the opportunity when customers are thinking about backup as a service or DR as a service? How can we help that?
Sure, sure. And ESG, an analyst that we work very closely, completed a survey at the end of 2019 that did say, close to 75% of customers, are using today or evaluating a BR, a DR, disaster recovery as a service, or backup, as a service. And really, those reasons are, are around cost effectiveness
Hmm.
and ensuring that resources within an organization, have the bandwidth, to work on those projects and really, securely and automatically, create a backup, a DR strategy that's going to help prevent against all sorts of inflictions.
Right.
I mean, just today, I believe there was a natural type of DR challenges like earthquakes. There was one out in
Mhm.
Nevada just a few hours ago. Myself in Tampa, Florida, we already have our first named storm, hurricane storm. So
Wow.
combining
Already, man.
hurricane, yeah, already with that and the current COVID environment is a tough one. But those are the natural type of disasters. But of course, there are malicious ones like ransomware and ransomware attacks. Veeam, with our DR and backup as a service strategy, can help prevent that, so our data does not get hijacked per se. We're able to get
Yep.
that back if there is a ransom for it. And then, of course, Gil, in this environment, we also have a massive amount of data on the endpoints, on the
Yeah,
laptops that are
remote
now
workers, huge. Yeah,
yeah,
agreed.
they're no longer in the offices connecting to the VPN doing those automated backups. So this is really a major shift that we've been seeing with our customers across Veeam
Hey,
and just
Ken,
the
I got a
industry as a
question.
whole.
I got a question for the audience. Do you have your VPN on right now? That's a good question. I'm not sure if everyone has their VPN on. So that's something that you're definitely vulnerable at home if you're not connected to your company's VPN, so that's huge. Ken, we are on version 10 of Veeam's
Mm-hmm,
flagship software, right? Veeam Availability Suite. We have Veeam Backup
mm-hmm,
and Replication, all included, right? So if you think about this, and Veeam One for monitoring, you have a very special feature that has really provided our Veeam Cloud Service Providers this opportunity to help their customers,
mm-hmm.
manage this multi-cloud environment. And I believe that's called Cloud Connect, right? Can you
That is
explain a little
correct.
bit about Cloud Connect and how that feature, which is already embedded in Veeam, can help everyone?
Sure, sure, yeah, and you mentioned that we have our version 10 release in the first quarter of this year.
Yes.
We also celebrated the Veeam Cloud and Service Provider program hit a 10-year milestone
There we go.
just last month. So we celebrated that with 33% year over year growth, and a lot of that has to do with our Veeam Cloud Connect business, which is really a built-in solution within Veeam Backup and Recovery that allows for integrated, fast, a really secure way to back up and replicate to a service provider's repository. So at Veeam we really talk a lot about the 3-2-1 strategy.
Yes.
So 3 copies of your backup, 2 different media sources, but the all important one at the end is offsite. So whether you're a smaller medium sized business that might not have a co-location or you're a large enterprise, that does not have the infrastructure built, like we spoke about, to manage those backups and host that. We offer really a solution, that's built into our product, and not to mention it's free for our service providers, a copy of Veeam Cloud Connect, to help get a copy on premise, off premise, through the cloud. And these are a couple of pieces that are on the screen of the integration, the multi-tenant capability. Of course, we've got integration with VMware and vCloud Director, as well as other solutions. And then, of course, the end-to-end encryption that's built in. That is absolutely important to prevent against ransomware or any virus attacks. So
Yeah, that's
we've got tens of thousands of customers leveraging Veeam Cloud Connect. And of course, today globally, we've had about 25,000 Veeam cloud and service providers in the Americas. So Northern Latin America, we've got close to almost 4,000, a little bit less, that are transacting with Veeam, month in and month out. And they leverage, Veeam Cloud Connect, with their customers to offsite backup, their data.
Well, Ken, guess what? We have a question from the audience, the worldwide audience, by the way. This is from Colin. Now Veeam 10 is supporting so many cloud storage types: Azure Blob, Amazon S3, which have low, dollar amounts per gigabytes, right? So why would someone become a VCSP today to try to compete with that costing?
Sure. Well, there's a couple of things there, Gil, is that, when it comes to the various costs that are out there, there is still, some challenges with the cost to get that data back. The fees that might be, involved, and a bunch of, our service providers are telling us that they cannot create a predictable cost, to build into their revenue stream, month in and month out, because they are changing, those costs to get the data back, where it might be cheaper to, back it up, from a cloud backup perspective, but to get that data back, we're seeing some of those challenges. And for us, it allows our service providers, also through, a built-in feature which is called Cloud Tier within Veeam Backup and Replication, to really determine what's the right, level of backup, the availability to need that, and evaluate the cost there. So maybe, data that can be, retention, is not as critical, or recovering it back is not as necessary real time. You can work with these different, cloud storage medias to to make your to really build out your overall cloud strategy. So it really comes down to cost and management, and allow our experts, our Veeam Cloud Service Providers, to do that for you.
Got it. And then I will say this. We have a plethora of Veeam Cloud Service Providers. Last year's 2019 Veeam Impact Cloud Service Provider of the Year was Island, right? So I think, here's Island. Yep, they're definitely one that I work with a lot. I actually did a webinar with them earlier this week, and just presented on how they help their customers through one of our largest partners, CDW. But I guess for everyone that's on right now, are you working with the Veeam Cloud Service Provider right now? If so, write in the name of one of them in the comments below. And if you are a Veeam Cloud Service Provider on the line right now, type in the chat and give us your feedback. How's the Veeam Cloud Service Provider program been for you?
And Gil, if I could add one more thing, you mentioned Island, one of our largest service providers, globally. If you're just getting started, in this world, and you're building your business as a managed service provider, but don't have that infrastructure, you can absolutely partner, with one of our existing, Veeam Cloud Service Providers to host, a copy of your data. So, we have that, from a multi-tenant perspective, we have that ability within the solutions to do that.
That's huge. I did not know that. So that's really good, Ken. I like that you have that other alternative for people that want to get into the game. So something new that came out onto our version 4 of this is the Veeam Cloud Service Provider Console. Can you talk about the importance of that, and how does that help a Veeam Cloud Service Provider really work with their customers?
Yeah, and again, following on the theme of free here, Gil, the Veeam Service Provider Console is a free solution that is available to Veeam, cloud service providers. And, I'm in the business, and that's even a tongue twister, VCP and
It is hard.
VCSP. But, it used to be called Veeam, Availability Console, but we rebranded it because it really is a console for our service providers to help with their remote monitoring and management, built specifically for virtual, physical, and cloud workloads. So,
Hmm.
there was some integration there with some other, RMM products with a lot of our MSPs are using. So you can naturally, ConnectWise is one where we have an incredible partnership with built-in integration for them manage and automate. So it's effectively an easy way of looking at it, Gil, is really overall a console, with enhanced licensing,
Okay.
management, billing, remote monitoring. It is a very powerful and, again, free solution that's available for our service providers to leverage. And again, you in the business that our service providers are managing, you could segment, the workloads, build out the environments and manage your business through this console.
Yeah, I saw you had they had some integration with ConnectWise, the local company for you down there, right? So that's good.
Absolutely. Yeah, right. Yeah, right over on the other side of the bridge.
Yeah, for sure. So I guess another, well, we had some feedback. So
Mhm.
Nicholas on the chat said, in addition to Ken's comment regarding ingress and egress charges throughout public cloud storage, the vast majority of our providers offer multi-cloud strategy to cover all customers' needs. So thanks for that feedback, Nicholas.
That's awesome, Nicholas.
And then another feedback from Brian, steadfast. Yeah, Brian Lee, steadfast representing makes every conversation easier, especially those hesitant to go virtual. It all starts around Veeam backup. Thanks, Brian.
Mm.
Appreciate for that
Appreciate that,
feedback there.
Brian.
Yeah. So another really important area that I've been seeing a lot more of since we're all working from home, we're all using this collaboration
Mm.
software, is Microsoft Office 365. A lot of customers have a couple ways they want to back that up, whether on-prem or they want
Mhm.
to just give this to a Veeam Cloud Service Provider to manage it off-prem, just like they moved their Exchange on-premise to Microsoft. They want to do this as
Mhm.
well with the provider. What's your take on that? How has that evolved over these last 3 months, 2 months, really?
Really, yeah, it's exploded, Gil.
Hmm.
Microsoft backup for Microsoft Office 365 is, I believe, the fastest growing product in Veeam's history, and that is completely aligned with what our cloud service providers are seeing. Just the amount of growth. I was looking at a chart yesterday that Microsoft Teams,
Hmm.
obviously the communication mechanism that we use here at Veeam and many companies do, has hit 75 million daily users. It just,
Wow.
if you look at the chart, it just skyrocketed. Even my two boys that are in the other room, doing their schoolwork virtually, are using Office 365. I had to
Hmm.
teach them how to use that, and they are creating PowerPoints and documents and saving things on OneDrive. And honestly, if the school districts don't have that backed up, we're not going to be able to save it. We're not going to be able to recover it if something
Right.
happens to that. So,
That
that is
hits
an
home.
incredible. What's that?
That hits home. No pun intended. That
It,
hits
it,
home.
it really does, Gil. And again, we, our service providers, offer that as part of the suite of Veeam Power solutions that you can offer. And in the last 2 months, the demand for that, as our partners report on a monthly basis, we have really seen a significant increase in the amount of our partners that are reporting Office 365 use.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, hey, I got a question from Isa. Any
Mhm.
any company can be VCSP. How can we trust data security and infrastructures? Are there rules? Have there been rules been set for this?
Yeah, well, you're right. Anyone can. We do go through a certification process. With our Veeam Cloud service providers. But we really, at the end of the day, it's leveraging the security built within the Veeam software. To protect that. And again, we will always do our best to prevent from anything malice happening. But that's kind of the process that we go through to review, build a relationship. I know there's several of our team members, on the call that support our accounts and really work with them
Hmm.
from the best practices. Veeam, I would be remiss to not mention an incredible, solution engineering team. that knows the industry, know these products inside and out, can make recommendations to set up the environment. But within the security that we have and the encryption that we have within Veeam Backup and Replication, that's how we secure it.
Amazing. And I got a little bit more feedback from Sean Mears, service provider here. Very happy with the flexibility, ease of deployment, and security. We love the option of keeping a full deleted backups away from visibility to the Cloud Connect user. This helps with the random ransomware protection. So that's
Yeah.
good feedback. Thanks, Sean, for that one.
That is, Sean. Yeah, and that's the thing. We have, Veeam is really about its communities, and the community that we have, specifically, the Americas as well as globally for our service providers, sharing best practices, creating, even working with our internal development teams to create scripts and build plugins that can be leveraged, across all of our service providers. It really truly is a community that, again, just celebrated, 10 years,
Yeah.
10 years growth.
I got another question from Andy. Does Veeam have a partner portal for VCSPs where I can manage my license and report usage consumption?
Absolutely. Great, great question. As part of the launch in our 10-year anniversary, Veeam, cloud and service provider launched what we call Pulse. The Pulse is an automated platform built from the ground up by Veeam engineers and our global programs office that allows for not just management of licenses and monthly reporting. It allows for a complete view into that environment, so you can see historicals. So you can see how your partners are trending up and trending down. And before having to manage more or less licenses the old way, work with a sales team, provision them accordingly. You have that capability now within Pulse, to check out licenses and grow as your environment grows. So we're very excited about that. We at Veeam, we aggregate our rental licenses through distributors who ultimately work with our service cloud providers, and that really helps us as a vendor, an end customer service provider and the aggregator to really stay completely aligned and at the end of the day grow the business, because the data is constantly growing.
So Ken, in your eyes, you see, cloud backup, disaster recovery as a service, backup as a service, really is the future of backup, right? As more and more people leverage, multi-cloud environments, Veeam's kind of primed and positioned in the forefront to go and help them with the cloud data management. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, well, I'd have to do a little shameless plug here, Gil as well. But if it sounded like we had a couple of new people that are interested in the service provider, we are having our, Veeam on 2020.
Yes.
It is moved to virtual event, June 17th and 18th. I know you're going to speak about that a little as well, but I do recommend, if you're interested in hearing more, about this conversation, of course, I'd welcome anyone to reach out to me, directly. But it's 2 days, it's online content. We've got some specific, sessions that are designed just for VCSPs or potential VCSPs, hosted by our product strategy team, that I think would be, really helpful. But, again, to answer your question, DR as a service, backup as a service is only going to become more critical, to support, these multi-cloud environments, that are growing nonstop, and the amount of data just continues to explode. And, at the end of the day, if you're not the expert, or if your organization is not the expert, leveraging a program like this and leveraging the experts that live, sleep, everything is around protecting the data and securing it is going to be very critical. Again, like we mentioned earlier, free up resources, focus on other products. That's going to continue to be a driver. So whether you're a large enterprise or you're just getting started, in the business world by launching a virtual organization, DR and backup as a service are going to continue to grow.
That's huge. I got a question from Nadeem. Is it possible to move Veeam Enterprise Manager license with regards to multiple site offices? Any license merging? Are there any license merging available?
For if it's all rental
Mhm.
licenses, yes, the answer is yes.
Okay.
One of the things that we also have available is Veeam Universal licensing
Mhm.
for rental, which does allow for that. It allows you to shift those licenses around based on your environments and as they change. So that was something that big that was released as well, and it provides really not just the reliability, but also the flexibility within your environment, because we know they're going to change. We know stacks are going to come up and down, and and things are going to grow out in different areas. So in order to help with a multi-cloud type environment, we need to give our customers that flexibility.
Awesome. And then I did hear you. So Veeam 2020, yes, it was supposed to be a in live experience, but guess what? It's free now online, June 17th to the 18th. This is actually, I believe, the sixth Veeam. I've been to every single one of them, and they've been amazing. But you know what? We've also always done a Veeam virtual, Veeam virtual the last 3 years too. So we kind of know what we're doing here, coming up from a backup virtual company. So it's going to be very exciting. A lot of tracks. Invite your partners, customers to learn everything we can about version 10, about the Veeam Cloud Service Providers, and everything that we need. So I appreciate that. That's awesome.
Mhm.
I got another question from the audience.
Mhm.
Let's see. Let's see, from Brian. Let's chat about compliance. Can Veeam meet HIPAA and PCI compliance requirements?
Yeah, Veeam, and I our goal is to ensure compliancy across the board, Gil, and those are two compliance that we absolutely do focus on achieving. Veeam, one of the additional ads was we brought aboard a new chief security officer at Veeam that
Yes.
is helping to us to make sure as new compliances and regulations come up, we are, as well as being GDPR compliant. That's absolutely important to our customers. So yes, those certifications, those compliances, we can help you obtain.
And his name is Gil Vega, so I can't forget his name because he's got a great first name. So
Mm-hmm.
if you're out there, Gil, hello. And Brian was from Veeam. So I guess the other things, if there's any other questions, join the conversation. But this has been really good. I'm glad that we're able to get this message out. I wouldn't call it a secret, but I would call it
Mm-hmm.
something that we're able to help customers and move to the cloud, and we're multi-cloud. So we want to leverage and give the service providers the carte blanche to help their customers, and we want to help them, and we want to provide free tools. I've got another question, Ken.
Mm-hmm.
A question from Ibrahim. For example, the corona pandemic made us work from home, but when every company starts using the cloud-based workflow, the service providers will start having a problem to fully satisfy the client. What are your thoughts on this?
Um, that's interesting. I don't know if there's a specific experience there, and I love to talk more about it. I think
Yeah.
our information is going to be posted on LinkedIn, and it can chat, to find out exactly what the challenge is. But as those environments grow, our cloud service providers, need to grow in support of that as well. So whether it's bandwidth on their end or storage on their end, that's part of the reason why we also have tiers within our program, going from our platinum, gold, and our silver service providers. Whether you're a regional customer or you're looking for some global needs, that flexibility is there. So we work in certifications with our service providers, and that's something that we would expect them to keep up with that increased demand. So haven't in my 2 years, I know you've been here longer than I have, Gil, but in my 2 years working with the Veeam Cloud Service Provider business, we haven't had that. But of course, if there's anything unique situations, I love to talk about that. And if it's not in the Americas, North and Latin America, I'd happy to connect you with my counterparts in Europe, Asia, and Asia Pacific.
Amazing. So, Ken, this has been great. You are
Mm-hmm.
now officially off the hot seat, the Veeam Green hot seat.
Love
Appreciate you
it.
giving us this background. I will want to let everyone know this coming Monday, May 18th, we're going to have industry insights from Jason Buffington and Dave Russell. They're going to look ahead to IT modernization and look at the second half of 2020, including some unexpected benefits of quarantine. And then for Friday, next Friday, we're going to have Working from Home has Changed, where the data is created by Rick Vanover. So get ready for that. I appreciate everyone, you all joining. Thanks for all the questions and the feedback, and have a wonderful, great rest of the weekend. Thanks, Ken. Stay
Awesome.
warm
Great.
down there,
Thank you,
okay, buddy?
Gil.
All
We'll
right, thank you.
try. Thank you,
All right,
everyone, for joining. Have a great
thank you.
Friday.
Got it.
Bye bye.
TGIF.